Welcome everyone to CivilNet. Today I'm joined by Petya Kamburova, Global Business Development and Partnerships Lead at Rakuten Viber. You might know it just as Viber, the popular messaging app. Petya, thank you very much for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So to start, I actually wanted to ask about Viber Payment Solution, which is Viber's real-time account-to-account money transfer service. As far as I know, this feature is available right now in a small number of European Union countries, but not here in Armenia. Armenia has long-standing international money transfer problems, and for example, PayPal is not available here. So I'm wondering, can you tell us about any plans to expand Viber's service, especially to Armenia?
Sure. I'm going to take a step back though and explain a little bit more about the Viber strategy, about Viber Payment Solutions and the whole service in general. So you mentioned that Viber is a messaging platform, which is indeed correct. And messaging platforms currently have the strength to become super apps. And super apps, what do they feature? Long usage on the platform from the user, so frequency of usage, daily engagement. Another thing is the scale of users that are on the platform, and the third thing is the opportunity to have commercial solutions or payment solutions as well. And Viber as such is on that path as well. And last year, once we introduced our payment solutions, we already start to get towards this super app development, which is our future mission, vision, and the way that we think that Viber needs to move forward as well. As you mentioned, some of the markets are currently in the European Union, so it's a very limited, let's say, testing the grounds, testing the waters, and we're seeing amazing pickup from our audiences so far. One of the countries is, let's say, in Greece, and we got a total of over 500,000 wallets, which is a great number just for less than a year of operation, right? In terms of the actual service, we cannot still foresee which markets are going to be eligible for this, because what we're doing is that we are trying to make sure that we bring a very fast, a very secure, and very locally peculiar and locally relevant experience to all of the markets that we try to bring the solution, the payment solution at. So we always try to see what type of opportunities there are out there. We always try to make sure that we tackle the challenges that we might see, but unfortunately we do not have a list of countries at the moment that this can go live. However, for sure we would be looking into the opportunity to bring this in the future as well.
Absolutely. I'm curious about your view as an outsider, let's say, on Armenia's burgeoning tech scene. So I understand it's your first time in Armenia. Welcome. What have you seen here that has stuck out to you, that has surprised you? And what do you think can be done to attract other major companies like Viber here?
Well, today is my 4th day, and I would, consider myself quite already, local in the area. I met so many lovely people. I was at a conference. I met business people which have Armenian roots or Armenian background and culture from all over the world in many different industries, all in the digital and technology kind of environment, which was very, very inspiring. In terms of Armenia and Yerevan in specific, I was very, very impressed by the Tumo Center, which is this beautiful collaboration between people coming together to empower young students and young teenagers to find their passion, find their dream, and get into the spirit of thinking about their future and how to develop it, and how to start their career, how to get into technology. I was very impressed by that. My background is Bulgarian, so I'm Bulgarian born, and I cannot even imagine being 12 or 13 and using a Mac, the Mac services and the Mac products in a beautiful center among other people, like me, who have similar interests, having teachers who guide me, teachers who inspire me as well. It was absolutely amazing to see that, and I literally straight away started to see how we can bring this there, because it's definitely something that we miss for sure on the market. Another thing that really will stick with me, I believe, after this trip is the beautiful synergy between tradition and technology, or culture, which is the past, the way that things were done before, which is expressed by the community, by the food, by the history, all of that, and how beautifully it combines with the future and the way that people are, as they're keeping the culture and the tradition alive, they're still looking, with one eye towards the future and how to develop things further by keeping the culture in mind and trying to work with it as opposed to against it, if that makes sense. So I really, really enjoyed that, and everybody's just so flexible, looking to the next thing. It's quite inspiring.
That's great. So, as you mentioned, you are here in Armenia to take part as a keynote speaker at this year's Femino Conference for Women in Business, Science, and Tech. And your speech was about super apps and AI. Just last week, Viber unveiled a new AI companion called Kuki that will be integrated into the app to participate in open-ended conversations. What does that mean? Where is Viber going with this?
Yeah, definitely. Kuki is one of my projects. It's one of my favorite ones. I don't know how familiar you are with her, because she's a digital persona, digital influencer. She's quite sassy, quite fun. And once I learned about her, I was like, okay, that needs to come to Viber. What's the whole thing with AI in general? We started experimenting at the beginning of the year with ChatGPT. We have an integration with them as well. And we saw that our audience is quite interested. They use it on everyday life. They use it, to check the weather. They use it to see their route towards work. All different type of use, right? Cooking, all of that. So we thought, why not bring another experience on Viber, which is a little bit different? Because currently AI is perceived as much as, all AI is equal, right? Which is really not the case. ChatGPT is more a virtual assistant. It's there to help you move along your day, make your life a bit easier, in your daily tasks and your daily challenges. But Kuki, she's something else. She's a digital persona. She's an influencer. She's also a fashion persona. She has modeled for Vogue. She has modeled NFTs at the cryptocurrency events. She has spoken at influencer events like VidCon Asia, for example. She has teleported via a hologram, which was quite cool as well in one of the conferences. So essentially, she's a digital influencer in her whole whole experience on the platform. And what she brings on Viber is this fun, chatty, sassy experience with her, as well as lots of entertainment. So she's there to bring some fun into your day, bring some excitement. So you can play games with her. She can check your astrology, horoscope for the day. She can give you your tarot reading, all of those things. She can play trivia with you, have short but fun conversations as well. So we're quite excited about the integration. It's already live, literally as of last week, as you said. We currently have 100,000 subscribers of the chatbot, which have already sent over 500,000 messages, which averages around 50 messages back and forth to and from the Kuki chatbot on Viber.
Wow. As I'm sure you know, Viber is one of the most popular messaging apps in Armenia, if not the most popular messaging app here. And before you were talking about tailoring the Viber user's experience to the local environment. So I'm curious, looking forward, what plans do you and your team have for Viber here in Armenia? What can we expect to see coming down the line?
Yeah, definitely. I will start by segmenting the type of users that Viber has, right? Because as I mentioned, we are also going towards becoming a super app, and super apps offer these business services as well, which are B2B2C, how we call them, right? Like we work with a business to bring something to the end consumer, the end user. So the first part of our users is the end users, which is people like you and I, right? Everyday usage. So of course, for those users, we try to make sure we keep up with our secure messaging offer, secure calling, texting, all the voice over IP services. We make sure that we enrich their day with content which is local, which is facing the local peculiarities. So we team up with local companies, local brands, local organizations. Hopefully Tumu, this is like a nice gesture to Tumu here, because we really want to work with them as well. And we want to see them on the platform. So essentially working with locally generated content producers to provide this experience on the platform. We also do have 500,000 in size channel, which is the Armenian Viber channel, which shares news about all these partnerships that I mentioned, as well as Viber services and other sticker packs, augmented reality lenses, emojis, and content which is potentially interesting and very relevant for the local users. So that's like the one part of the question, which is like the end users. Then when we look towards the other part of our user base, which is the businesses, for them we also keep on introducing new features. Like our offering for the small and medium enterprises, which definitely are a very important part of Viber's strategy, and we appreciate that they're also an important part of everyday life of our end users. Your food delivery company, your local restaurant, your local beautician, all of those small to medium businesses are quite important when you go about your day and you go about your life in Yerevan or in Armenia as a whole. So working with them and providing them services that make sense for their business models, in a way to reach Viber audiences quite easily and their customers quite easily, exactly where they are, in one click away from their pockets. We basically try to make sure that we create this environment in a way that holistically it connects, the businesses, the end users, and the Viber experience as a whole.
Great. Well, Petya, thank you again very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Of course. My pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on CivilNet.